Thank you, Gary, for that very gracious introduction. And greetings to all of you attending the North American Association of Uniform Manufacturers and Distributors 2014 Exposition. And welcome to Las Vegas. And behave yourselves. I regret that I can't be there in person to join you today, but I'm grateful to Richard Lerman and the leadership of the association for this opportunity to address you. First, let me say thank you. Thank you for all you do for the millions of hardworking professionals who wear the uniforms with pride every day, and in particular, certainly the area that I've spent over 40 years of my life in policing. You make them look good. You help them convey a sense of authority. You enhance the respect with which they are viewed. You enable them to do their jobs more effectively. So many industries and professions throughout North America benefit from your work. And I will speak to the one that I know best, policing. As a young boy growing up in Boston, I was fascinated by a book that I found in the Boston Public Library called Your Police. Inside were illustrations of New York City police officers and their equipment. I knew when I opened that book that I had found my calling. Then as today, the uniform of a police officer reflects the duty, honor, and respect that define the profession. But it wasn't always manufactured with the officer's best interest in mind. The general attitude among police departments was, cheapest is best. So uniforms tended to be heavy, uncomfortable, and oftentimes poorly made because we weren't willing to pay price to get quality. They didn't serve patrol officers very well. Even when I became a police officer in Boston in the 1960s, that was still the case. I remember paying $6.50 for my first police shirt. Let me tell you, it looked like a shirt that cost $6.50, and it did not wear well. How far we've come since those days. While the uniform remains the most visible and important symbol of the police profession, it has changed, thanks in large part to your willingness to work with us to meet changing times and demands. Materials are lightweight and much more comfortable. They can be worn in all manner of weather. They combine form and functionality while still commanding respect. Most importantly, they're oftentimes designed collaboratively, with those who are going to wear with them working with you, those who design them and manufacture them for us. And of course, the uniform is more than a source of just public esteem. It is a symbol of rank and achievement for the officer who wears it. Every promotion ushers in changes to the uniform, signifying increased duties and the obligations of each successive rank. From the gray shirt of the police recruit, to the blue shirt of the cop on the beat, to the white shirt of the executive office, the uniform indicates professional advancement. And not just in policing, in all the various industries that you serve, all the various private, public sector, the uniform denotes respect, it denotes authority, it denotes professionalism. Ours in policing is a profession that is constantly evolving, and we look to you to help us evolve with it. That includes accommodating the new mission of counterterrorism and what that means for the uniform. In many places like New York, it means the individual police officer must carry more equipment than ever. In addition to the typical service weapon, handcuffs and radio, that includes a tactical escape hood, a radiation pager, and many other devices. That creates unique challenges for uniform designers to accommodate all that we now must carry with us. Some police departments, including ours, have added cargo pants to the standard uniform for this reason. We must also be mindful to preserve a professional appearance. And that's where you are so important, because you can work with us to ensure that our needs are met by your services. Speaking for the NYPD, we'd like to see changes to the uniform that satisfy those competing priorities. We're also experimenting with changes to the uniform that better accommodate bulletproof vests. This is the single most important piece of equipment today for any police officer. We're now utilizing vest holders that can be worn outside the uniform for both uniform and plainclothes officers. For all of the changes that we've seen, however, there remains one fundamental truth. Officers who take pride in the uniform take pride in themselves. We must never lose sight of what the uniform means so that for the child who looks up to it. And neither should you. That book I mentioned earlier, Your Police, I've kept a copy of it and brought it with me everywhere I've been in all the departments I've been privileged to serve with. Let me quote from what it says at the very end, the last page. We must always remember that wherever you see a policeman, he is your friend. He is there to protect you. He has dedicated his life to the preservation of the laws, the property, and the civil rights of the people in the community he serves. He would not hesitate to save your life at the cost of his own. I can't think of a better summary of what it means to wear the uniform of a police officer and the importance of a uniform to the police officer. And while, because of my 40 years in policing, that is the area I know best, at the same time, I can certainly appreciate the importance of uniforms in so many other professions that we interact with, whether it be the fire services, ambulance services, the hospitals that we are constantly in and out of, and the importance that uniforms that are durable, that are attractive, that are functional, what that means to any of those professions. So thank you, those of you who work in this industry, for all that you do for all of our professions. The collaboration is essential. The collaboration results in success for you and for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, for your insight. We appreciate it. We have a question for you. How do you balance the uniform needs of your officers vis-a-vis appearance, comfort, and functionality with your expectations of the acceptance of this look by the public, giving them the respect and confidence in their police department?
It's a great question, that idea of balance, because we certainly have need and functionality, but we also have image and appearance. And how do you balance the two together so that the officers are clothed and equipped appropriately to do their duties, but also in a way in which they still inspire in the public respect and confidence about the professionalism of the person wearing the uniform. So that balance is taken into consideration when we finally approve and authorize the various uniforms that our police officers wear. It's a constant challenge, and one that particularly as we've over the years increasingly had to equip our officers with more and more tactical equipment, whether it be bulletproof vests or all the various things that they now have to carry to deal with the concerns about counterterrorism. So that balance is one that we're always engaged in seeking to achieve.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have two questions for you. The first is, how do you feel about the impact of performance enhancement on the uniform program for police?
Performance enhancement is critical. The idea that, particularly in 21st century policing, or for that matter in any of the professions that you service, the times are changing, and we need to be in a position through uniform design to enhance the ability of our personnel to perform the multiplicity of duties that they're now called upon to do. In a place like New York City, with the changing environment of winter, fall, spring, and summer, we need enhanced uniforms that address all of those needs. The heat of the summer, the cold of the winter, certainly the wind and the rain and the snow, that the ability to enhance and to use the latest trends, if you will, certainly things that you're knowledgeable about, to work with us as our environment changes. Certainly after 9/11, our environment changed dramatically. The need to have all types of hazmat types of equipment. Firefighters are constantly trying to stay abreast of the latest equipment and uniforms that can protect them in the fires and the issues they have to deal with. So the enhancements are a critical part of the collaboration between customers and those of you who are the providers.
Great. My second question is focused on the changes in body armor to be less visible and blend in more with the uniforms. How do you feel about that, and why do you think it was necessary?
There's no more critical garment in policing than body armor, the body vest, if you will, the bulletproof vest as it's more commonly known. And the reason for that is we know clearly that hundreds upon hundreds of times officers' lives have been saved by that single piece of equipment. However, what we need to do is constantly seek to modify it so that we can take advantage of the changing technology so that it can be worn more comfortably. Many departments still wear the vest under the shirt. Others have moved toward vests that can be worn over the uniform shirt, but they're consciously designed to blend into the shirt. And in some instances, they're even designed to look like the shirt. So I would encourage, in terms of in your world, to continue to offer variety. There's, 15 to 20,000 police departments in America, and God knows how many other entities that you service, and no two ever seem to have exactly the same need. So that's where you come in the sense of responding to those various needs. And there's this area of vests that in LA, I know when I was there in the Los Angeles Police Department, we were experimenting significantly with the idea of vests that could be worn outside the shirt, because in the heat of summer you want them to be able to take the vest off whenever possible if they're in an inside assignment. So again, this issue in my profession is absolutely critical, that you stay abreast of the changing needs and offer the variety that police are always looking for.
Commissioner, we want to thank you on behalf of all the officers and directors of the NAUMD for taking this time to share your thoughts with us, and thank you for being where you are. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, and believe me, I wish I could be there with you to enjoy Las Vegas. It's one of my favorite places. All the best.